Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Sean, sometimes known as the Beast, and I've got 5 records to show, all 2025 releases, all death metal. Firstly, a massive shout out to Johnny Mac over at Rock and Metal Plus for inviting me onto the live stream on Saturday just gone. Really good laugh, and thanks to everybody that jumped in the live chat. Few films there that I certainly didn't know about. I think I showed a couple that most people didn't know about, so yeah, it was good fun, and hopefully we'll get another one sorted out sometime soon. Yeah, so like I said, 5 records, all death metal and all 2025 releases. Just thought, a little bit different. So we'll get started. First up is the mighty and probably the best established out of this bunch, Entrails, and their 8th studio album, Grip of Ancient Evil. This is out on Hammerheart Records. Entrails, I'm sure you all know if you're watching this. Entrails are from Sweden. I absolutely love this band. However, I've got a massive gripe about this record, in that the title track, the first track on the album, is it's the most pointless opening track I've ever heard. I don't know what they were thinking or why. It's like just some fiddle playing. When I first put it on, I genuinely thought I'd been sent the wrong vinyl. Like, what the? But anyway, apart from that shit, we'll get cracked on with the rest of the stuff that sounds like Entrails. What you get with Entrails, as we all know and love, is old school death metal, that wonderful HM2 sound. They're not trying to reinvent the wheel, or they're not trying to step out of the comfort zone. I've had the conversation with Dylan a few times, and he always says, why would they need to? There's no reason for them to step out of the comfort zone. So yeah, so what you get here is HM2 soaked guitars, riffs for days. The new vocalist, his vocals are almost like a spoken shouted growl. They work really, really well. What's the guy's name? The new vocalist is Julian Bellanox, something like that. Bellanox, it's a name. But yeah, again, this is one of those. It's got that sort of like a raw intensity to it that just it just like breathes that Swedish death metal sound. It's sort of, you get exactly what you expect, with the exception of the opening track, because it's just fucking shit. But yeah, as always, another cracking addition to the Entrails catalogue. Again, they're not, like I said, they're not trying to reinvent the wheel. They're not trying to do anything off the cuff or anything like that. It's just a solid HM2 infused death metal record. So that is Entrails and Grip of Ancient Evil, out on Hammerheart Records. Well, next up is a band I was made aware of through social media, and I believe it was Johnny Mac that showed it first on his YouTube channel, but I had actually seen it, somebody else had shown it either on Instagram or Facebook, something like that, and the cover art intrigued me. The album in question is Filth, and their debut full-length, Time to Rot. This is out on Misako Noho, or however you say it. These gentlemen are also from Sweden. This is a trio, and what they've done is they've put a slightly modern take on old school death metal. It's certainly not flawless, you know, and it's not, they're not doing anything super original, but it's a band that knows what they want to do. They're quite comfortable in that space, and they've done it really, really well. Again, I would say for most of it, the pace is mid-tempoed. The vocals again are that sort of growled, putrid sounding nastiness. The drumming is solid. Again, it's just on black wax. Yeah, the drumming's solid. It's not, you know, there's nothing over the top about it. But what it is, it's an album that's got me intrigued as to where they go next. You know, like the next full length, are they going to stick with the same formula, which, to be fair, they do it really, really well, or are they going to maybe just branch out a little bit, you know? But yeah, it's a really, really good sort of, this is who we are now, this is what we're doing, and hopefully if you stick around long enough, you'll maybe hear us do something else. So yeah, so that's Filth and their debut release, Time to Rot. Now, talking of debut releases, this next record is also a debut release. Again, apologies for looking down here because that's where my notes are. This cover is quite shiny. This is Cancervoid and their debut EP called First Metastasis. Again, this is on Misako Onoho. These boys are from Czechia. Now, as debuts go, this absolutely smashes it. Again, it's old school death metal, but it's got a distinctive sort of savagery that can only be, you know, it can only be modern, that, if that makes any sense. It's old school sounding, but it's just got that edge on it that's like, yeah, that's definitely new. It's quite like the overall feel of it's quite claustrophobic and a little bit unnerving, but it's so well crafted and well put together, really, really heavy. This production's quite a thick sound, but it's that just like the drums and bass put a nice layer for the guitars to do on their stuff on top of it. Clear vinyl, black vinyl, sorry. The vocals again, brutal, uncompromising, but you know, it's what you expect. It's sort of the cover art and the logo fits the vocals perfectly, if that makes sense. It probably doesn't, because I'm chatting shit as normal, but yeah, I would say this is an essential listen if you're a fan of old school death metal, but if you also like the a bit more of the newer stuff as well. It's a cracking blend of both, and I say the artwork's just, the artwork describes the music than I ever could. We'll put it that way. So that is Cancervoid and First Metastasis. Now this next one is slightly different in that it's more of a Death Doom type feel to it really than just death metal. The album in question is by the band Devil's Gateway. The album is called Shreds of Life. This version is out on Crypt of the Wizard. This is actually their second full length. These are from Finland. Now this is very primitive and raw sounding, but it's got like almost like an avant-garde type feel to it at times. the guitar tone is like traditional, if you think of traditional doom bands with that fuzzy guitar, it's like that, but then taken up to the next level. The vocals are provided by a lady called Izzy, and her vocal range goes from the most guttural, bestial sounding grounds to shrieks like some demonic banshee or something like that. Track 3, Covenant, about just before midway, there's like a little bass interlude solo type thing, and that is ridiculously heavy. It just picks you up and smacks you on the face and then puts you back down again. Absolutely cracking solo. We get quite a DIY looking inlay sheet, and it's that sort of that does actually sort of fits the music as well. This one's on a sort of a purpley grey black swirly fucking mix, whatever thing you want to call it. Yeah, it's just such a good album. Now apparently some of their earlier music, I think it was 2 EPs and obviously one of the full length, with this being the second one. Apparently on some of the things I was reading about them, saying it's not quite as accessible, you know, maybe a little bit more out there and stuff like that. But if that's the case, just judging by this, I'll be more than happy to try and find some of the earlier stuff, because this is an absolute beauty. This has been spun quite a lot since I picked it up, and again it was bought on a whim, and it's worked. It's absolutely, you know, it's a different take on Death Doom, with almost with like a crust edge to it at times. Really, really good. Again, it's probably a lot better than I'm managing to describe it. So that's Devil's Gateway and Shreds of Life. Now this next one, and the final one for this video, this was something I was looking forward to hearing from the moment I saw it had been, or it was due to be released. It took me a little while to get it to pick it up. Not really sure why, but it did. But honestly, I'm so glad I finally did manage to pick it up. This is Ossuary and their Abhorrent Worship. This is their debut full length, and again this is out on Misako, Unoho, or however else you say it. This is death metal from the US, and this is an album that just reeks of putrid flesh that's hanging from the ceiling of an abandoned mausoleum you're trying to get out of, with a horde of the undead quite happy to chase after you and rip you to bits. This is the atmosphere on this that the production creates is just it screams of violence, and it's quite unnerving, and this is the art that is one of the best pieces of art I've received in a while, and when I finally do get into my music room, that will definitely be going in a frame. Yeah, as I was saying, the production it's got this, I don't know, it's like an extra layer of violence almost, if an album can have a violent layer to it. It's an album that when you listen to it, it does make you feel slightly uncomfortable, but sort of in a good way. It's like, I was going to say eerie, but eerie is probably not the right word. But the guitars on this are so thick and heavy, and the riffs are sort of, it's as if they're their own being. They're like a tortured being that's just full of anguish and angst, and it gives them each song is well crafted, and each riff gives it like what am I thinking? Like its own entity type thing. It's absolutely, it's a fantastic production record. Sorry. Again, the girl is called Izzy that sings. I might have said that was the name of the lady on the last one, and it isn't. It's the girl on this one's called Izzy, and her vocals are just absolutely, something has definitely possessed her when she's singing, and she puts it out in such a violent, uncompromising way. Again, there's when it does slow down, and that's not very often, but it's sort of glacially slow, and it just increases the heaviness and the overall, say, like a feeling of, it's like quite disconcerting and uncomfortable. Now, I've read quite a few reviews on this, and it's sort of been a mixed, no, I don't like it, or yes, I do like it, which is, oh yeah, it goes on with everything. And at the end of the day, I can sit here all day and extol any record and say it's fantastic, but you need to listen to it yourself and make your own opinion, which is what we all do. However, I would say I know for a fact that this will be in my end of year list, and I'll be surprised if it's not in the top 5 at least. It's just such a wonderful full-length album. I do have a couple of the earlier splits and EPs and such like that, so that's one of the main reasons I was so keen on, you know, hearing this in full. And slightly late to the party from when it came out, but glad to have it now, and say it's been spun a lot, and also digitally, you know, through the on the bus wanker journeys and stuff like that. Absolutely fantastic record, and like I say, for me it will definitely be in my end of year list. So that's it for this one. Hopefully you found something of interest, and of course, as always, pop down in the comments and let me know your thoughts on these, or if you spotted any other mistakes apart from the obvious one of me calling a band member something that's not even in that band. But hey ho, we live and learn, don't we? So the 600 sub count competition, still got a couple of weeks left to go. Well over 20 entries I think now it is, last time I checked. So thank you very much to everybody that has entered, and to the people that haven't entered, you've still got a bit of time left yet for a £50 PayPal payment if won. So anyway, that's me finished chatting shit. Look after one another, enjoy whatever music you're listening to, whatever genre of music you're listening to, and as always, until next time, when it'll probably be a black metal update. Cheers!